All right, here he is.
How do you do that? How do you make me forget, yo, that's my man, and like be like, yo, I 100% believe he is who he says he is?
Well, that's part of the fun for me too, is adapting. Trying to shape myself, my ego, my thing around the character that I'm supposed to be portraying, supposed to be creating, and that it keeps me busy because I'm flexible. If you can't beat them, confuse them.
When this craziness started, you were up in London working on the next Batman. The cast for that is incredible. The story sounds incredible. What can you tell us about what's coming up with that project?
We were in the middle of it, having a ball, and we were sticking our feet in that thing. It's really cool. It's really cool vibe that Matt Reeves, the writer and director, has created. And we had been filming for about 2.5 months, and then we shut down indefinitely. But Batman is an interesting world. It's an interesting set of stories. It begins back in 1939 is the first comic, and so it's evolved since then and expanded and explored new, the new realities of the day in a sense. And what's interesting about it is Batman is like the one, I think, superhero who's actually grounded in the world, in our world. He's not, kind of extraterrestrial. He doesn't have all these extraordinary powers. He lives in Gotham. He lives basically in New York City, Chicago, big American metropolis. And he's a detective, kind of navigating through the corruption and the muck and the decay of a city that looks very much like one we're familiar with. So there's a lot of fun stuff to get your hands around with it. And then, of course, it's just like some of the coolest
toys
stuff. Some of the cool toys that we get to play with on this thing. I think Matt's really putting his signature on it, and a signature that will further help the stories, the Batman series, evolve in a way that's super cool and makes total sense. I really dig it.
I mean, when Michael Keaton was Batman, it was beautiful, but it was campy, right? And that's not a diss. I love those pieces. And when Christian Bale did it, it was edgy and dark. And now Robert Pattinson is playing Batman. So, and like you said, new director, new writer. So where does it fit in with the other Batman pictures? I know it's not going back to the campy. It can't be as edgy as it was with Christian Bale and Chris Nolan. So where are we? Where's the vibe now?
Without giving too much away, how would I describe it? You'll just have to wait and see. The real camp was Adam West. That was the OG. I mean, for modern audiences, and in fact, you know who the first Batman was?
Who?
The first Batman was the father of Michael Wilson, who is half brother to Barbara Broccoli and who produced James Bond series.
James Bond. Mm-hmm.
Michael Wilson's father, I forget his first name, sadly, but he was the first Batman. But for me, the first Batman was Adam West. And you know, at the same time, though, yeah, it can't be all of that, you know. But Matt and I, who were about the same age, were saying, you know, but when we were kids, it didn't seem like camp. I mean, that was real. That was real, you know, daring do and all that stuff. You know, that was, you know, and the Batcave and the technology, all of that stuff was, you know, that was leading, you know, that was on point stuff. You know, that was the coolest stuff outside, really, James Bond that you saw, you know, on TV for us. There were some other places to go too, but you know, it wasn't camp then. But no, we're not going back there. We're not revisiting those pastels. I can tell you in terms of kind of palette, which you've seen perhaps from some of the shots, it has a really rich tone. It's got a warm tone, but there is a moodiness, you know. There's a mystery to it. There's a mystery to the tone, and a raininess. It's super cool. It's super cool.
Nice.
I'm excited to finish it, and then I'm excited to have people see it. Yeah.
Last thing, you know, I ask everybody, what's your superpower? You know, what do you do a little bit better than everybody else that allows you to have the success that you've had? You know, what's your superpower?
My superpower. My superpower would be probably like Batman. My superpower is that I have no more superpowers than anyone else. That's my superpower, you know, and I remind myself of that to the extent that I can when I sometimes might forget that.
The humility.
But that's not to say that we all don't have, you know, extraordinary powers, but whatever mine are no more than anyone else's.
Hey, brother, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, I guess I try sometimes. I try.
Yeah.
You know, or at least to stay grounded. And which is going back to why we began, you know, where we began this conversation is why I'm trying to help out the community here.
Yeah.
So, you know, through Brooklyn for Life. So, yeah, my superpower in this case is everyone around me out here.